Raspberry, and raspberry once again. What's up, 23% Nation? This is your man, Coach D. Today I'm back with fruit of the day, the one and only raspberry. So maybe you think that raspberry is only a color. Maybe you confuse raspberries with cranberries. Maybe you've never even heard of a raspberry before. Well, whatever the case may be, please listen and watch on. Why? Because we're about to dive just a little deeper into the wonderful world of the raspberry. All right, first up, a little bit of background information. The red raspberry has been around for a very long time and noted as growing wild in the foothills of Mount Ida during the time of Christ. So there we have it, guys. We now know that the raspberry, or at least the red raspberry, is ancient. Also, raspberries have a short shelf life, which is probably one of the reasons they may come at a high price, and why buying them at your local farmer's market is the best choice. Also, they're usually harvested twice a year, once in the fall and once in the summer. So there we have it, guys. We now know approximately when is the best time to purchase raspberries, right? Fall and summer. That way they're at their peak season and chances are they're going to be on sale, whether you purchase them from a farmer's market or the local grocery store. So there we have it, guys. Just a little bit of background information about the one and only raspberry. All right, now it's time for a few fun facts. The U.S. is the third largest raspberry producer in the world. Wow, who knew? Also, we usually see raspberries as red, which is the most popular, but there are also black, purple, which is a cross of red and black raspberries, and yellow varieties, a mutation of red or black raspberries. Wow, so this comes as a huge surprise to me. Like most people, I had only been exposed to red raspberries, but I had no idea that they came in yellow and black varieties. Interesting. So the next time I'm at my local farmer's market or my local grocery store, I'm going to check to see how many different colors of raspberries they have to offer. So there we have it, guys, a few fun facts about raspberries. All right, now it's time for the not so fun facts. In most cases, raspberries are a healthy and safe choice, but always consult your physician before taking a supplement such as raspberry ketone or trying any natural remedy for the treatment or prevention of cancer. Interesting. It's been suggested that pregnant women should avoid black raspberry supplements because they may induce labor. Oh no, say it ain't so, Coach D. That's right, ladies. So if you're pregnant, please watch out for black raspberry supplements. Why? Because they may induce labor. Now, maybe you're tired of being pregnant and maybe you're waiting to have the baby. Well, if that's your case, then go ahead. Take the black raspberry supplements and induce your labor. I'm only kidding. So guys, there we have it. The not so fun facts about raspberries. All right, now let's talk about the 520 rule. Guys, the 520 rule is all about food labels. That's right. It's a guide that lets us know whether or not a food item is a good source or not a good source of any particular nutrient. Now, when we talk about the 520 rule, ultimately we're talking about percent daily value, abbreviated percent DV. Now, let's take a look at our sample food label. As you can see, it's divided into three parts. One part is lavender, one part is yellow, and one part is blue. Let's talk about the lavender portion first. Guys, the lavender column is the percent DV column. Now, as you can see, it's presented as percentages. Some are low, some are high, right? Now, basically, the percentages can be as low as 0% to as high as 100%. Now, let's take a look at the yellow portion. Now, it's very unfortunate, but the yellow portion highlights nutrients that do the body a lot of harm. As a matter of fact, they promote sickness, illness, and disease within the body temple. So when it comes to saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, and sodium, you really want those percentages to be as close to zero as possible. Next, let's take a look at the blue portion, which highlights such nutrients as dietary fiber, vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, and iron. Now, these nutrients do just the opposite of the yellow nutrients. Rather than promote disease, they promote wellness and health within the body temple. So if anything, you want to make sure that those percent DVs are as close to 100% as possible. Now, let's get a little more specific when it comes to the 520 rule. If a food or beverage item offers anywhere from 0% to 9% DV of any particular nutrient, then that food or beverage item is not a good source of that particular nutrient. Next up, if the food or beverage item offers 10% to 19% DV, then that food item is considered a good source of that particular nutrient. Lastly, if the food or beverage item offers 20% DV or greater, then that food or beverage item is an excellent source of that particular nutrient. So there we have it, guys, the ins and outs about the 520 rule. All right, now it's time to dive into the nutrition facts of raspberries. Now here's what we got to understand, is that for today's lecture, a single serving of raspberries is going to be equal to 1 cup of raw raspberries. Understand that, guys, raw, not cooked. So here's what we put into our bodies when we consume 1 cup of raw raspberries. It's only 64 calories, 14.7 grams of carbs, 1.5 grams of protein. And you didn't think raspberries had protein. Well, they do. 0.8 grams of fat, 8 grams of amazing fiber. Vitamin C comes in at a whopping 54% DV. Excellent source. Manganese comes in at 41% DV. Excellent source. Vitamin K comes in at 12% DV. Good source. Then we have magnesium coming in at only 7% DV. Not a good source. Folate, 6% DV. Not a good source. Copper coming in at 6% DV. Not a good source. Vitamin E, 5% DV. Not a good source. Iron, 5% DV. Not a good source. Potassium, 5% DV. Not a good source. Niacin, 4% DV. Not a good source. Pantothenic acid, which by the way is a B vitamin, coming in at 4% DV, not a good source. And lastly is phosphorus, coming in at only 4% DV, not a good source. Now here's the thing, guys. Don't be overly concerned about raspberries being not a good source of most vitamins and minerals. Remember, this is based on a single serving, which is 1 cup. So if you want to get more vitamins and more minerals in your body, then simply eat more raspberries. Rather than eat 1 cup, eat 2 cups, or maybe even 3 cups if you really enjoy raspberries. So there we have it, guys, the nutrition facts about raspberries. All right, now it's time to dive into the health benefits. But before we do, I want to offer you this. Ladies and gentlemen, we must talk about the principle of cause and effect. Now, some of you may already be familiar with it. That's great. It's known as one of the 7 Hermetic principles. And basically, it states that every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. There really is no such thing as chance and or luck. In other words, everything happens for a reason. So here's really what I want to say, is that when we talk about the nutrition facts or the nutrient content, right? Well, guys, those are the causes. The health benefits are the effects. So what I want to do is list the health benefits, but then I also want to give you the phytonutrients that are responsible for these benefits. So here we go. Number 1, raspberries boost heart health. Now, which phytonutrients are responsible for that? Well, say hello to anthocyanin and polyphenols. Next, raspberries help with weight loss. Now, which phytonutrients are responsible? Say hello to raspberry ketones, rhiosmin, and fiber. Next up, raspberries can help manage diabetes, which is always a great thing. Then raspberries may help prevent cancer. That's right. So which phytonutrients are responsible for that? Well, say hello to ellagic acid, tannin, and anthocyanins. Next up, raspberries ease arthritis pain. Which phytonutrients are responsible for that? Well, anthocyanins and elagitannins. That's right, guys. Now that's a big word. I'll go ahead and pronounce it once again. Elagitannins. Interesting. And lastly, raspberries fight aging. That's right. So if you're looking for the fountain of youth, it's easy. Eat more raspberries. So, which phytonutrients are responsible? Vitamin C, carotenoids, and quercetin. So there we have it, guys. Lots and lots and lots of health benefits from raspberries. All right, now it's time to talk about food. As usual, I went to my go-to website for everything vegan. It's forksoverknives.com. Did a little bit of research and found 2 amazing vegan raspberry recipes that I want to share with you right now. So, the first recipe is chocolate raspberry parfaits. Take a look at that picture. Looks delicious. Now, take a look at our second recipe. It's raspberry truffle brownies. Take a look. Amazing. Makes your mouth water, right? Well, if you're like me and you love raspberries and parfaits and brownies, then all you have to do is click on the description box. Why? Because I'm offering you a direct link to both of these recipes. That's right. Now, when you click on the link, you're going to find some amazing information. They're going to give you the cooking time, cooking instructions, preparation instructions, and of course, an ingredient list. Right? All the information that you need in order to make these nutritious, delicious dishes. So there we have it, guys. Not 1, but 2 vegan raspberry recipes from forksoverknives.com. All right, 23% Nation, I hear you. A lot of you say, well, Coach D, thanks for the background information and for the not so fun facts. But what I really want to know is, when should I eat more raspberries? Well, guys, if that's your question, then I got to tell you that the best day, and I do mean the best day to eat more raspberries, is Nature Day. What? Nature Day? Yes, Nature Day. Now, here's the thing about Nature Day. Nature Day happens to be the first day of the 23% challenge. Now, maybe you know nothing about the challenge, and that's okay. The 23% challenge is a monthly 7-day wellness program that is designed to help improve your health, your wealth, your relationships, and it also helps to save good old planet Earth. Now, here's the interesting thing about the challenge is that it's the first 7 days of every single month. That's right, the first all the way through the 7th of the month. Now, Nature Day happens to be the first day of the challenge, which basically means that Nature Day is the first day of every month. So whether it's July 1st, November 1st, or even January 1st, it's always Nature Day. All right, so maybe now you want to learn more about Nature Day. Maybe the first slide piqued your interest. Or maybe you're the type of person who's interested in eating more plants. Maybe you're the type of person who's suffering from the big 4. Meaning obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and good old cancer, right? Or maybe you have skin problems. Maybe you have digestive issues. Maybe you're looking for a holistic approach to health. Well, if that's you, then allow me to offer you 3 avenues that I believe can help make that transition easier. Guys, I want to introduce you to a 3%, 13%, and a 23% vegan. So let's discuss each one individually. First up, 3% vegan. What is that? It's anyone, man, woman, or child, who only eats plant foods and drinks only water only 1 day out of an entire month. Next up is a 13% vegan. Now this is anyone, man, woman, or child, who only eats plant foods and drinks only water only 4 days out of an entire month. Now there are 2 ways in which you can go about this. It could be the first 4 days of the month, or you could choose 1 day per week. I'll leave it up to you. Now the third way is to become a 23% vegan. Now technically that's what Coach D considers himself to be. So what does that mean? It means that for the first 7 days of every single month, I am a strict vegan, meaning I only eat foods that come directly from the 5 food groups of plant foods, which are fruits, vegetables and herbs, whole grains, nuts and seeds, and legumes, meaning beans and peas. And of course, I only drink water. So there we have it, guys, the ins and outs about Nature Day. All right, so maybe you are interested in participating in Nature Day. Maybe you want to try to become a 3% vegan, a 13% vegan, or maybe go the whole way and become a 23% vegan. Well, if that's you, I want to offer you a little bit of advice, a little bit of help, some assistance, ultimately, Coach D's tips. Why? Because I want your Nature Day to be successful. So, tip number 1, go to your local grocery store. Now, when you get there, you're going to go to 2 places. Number 1, you're going to go to the produce section. Why? Because that's where all the fresh plant foods are located. And secondly, you're going to walk over to the freezer aisle. Why? Because that's where all the frozen plant foods are located. Now, some of you may be wondering, what's better, fresh or frozen? Well, believe it or not, they each have their advantages. Frozen plant foods have a huge advantage, especially if you don't eat them very often and you need for them to be kept for longer periods of time. Now, as far as the nutrient content of fresh versus frozen, well, believe it or not, the nutrient contents are pretty much the same. So please don't fret if you're concerned about losing nutrients. You won't, trust me. Tip number 2 is to go visit your local farmer's market. Now, for those of us who must eat organic plant foods, then guess what? The farmer's market is perfect for you. Why? Because they only sell organic plant foods at farmers markets, which basically means fewer herbicides, fewer pesticides, and fewer chemicals. Next up, tip number 3 is to go to the prepared dishes section of your local grocery store. Now, once you're done with the produce section and the freezer aisle, walk on over to the prepared dishes section. Now, depending on the grocery store, it may be termed the kitchen. Whatever the name is, walk on over, talk to the person behind the counter, and ask them if they have any vegan, not vegetarian options. Now, ask for a quick sample, and providing you like it, purchase the food either by the pound or maybe even 2 pounds if you really, really like it. Tip number 4 is to go visit a vegan restaurant. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to start supporting the vegan community. Now, here's a really interesting thing about vegan restaurants is that they hire vegan chefs who basically know not only how to cook plant foods, but they also know which plant foods to mix together to give you the most nutritious, delicious dishes. So please visit your local vegan restaurant ASAP. And tip number 5, and this is for those of us who don't know how to cook plant foods, don't have time to cook plant foods, don't want to cook plant foods, right? Guys, become familiar with your local vegan meal prep company. Now, here's the thing about these types of companies is that they make the food, they deliver the food, and you eat the food. It's just that simple. So there you have it, guys. 5 amazing tips to help make your Nature Day successful. All right, it's time for our question of the day, which comes from yours truly and the rest of the 23% nation. We have inquiring minds. So we want to know, do raspberries have a long or short shelf life? You let us know. I believe I covered that information earlier in the video. Please write your answer in the comment box below. Guys, I want to thank you for watching. I definitely want to thank you for listening. As always, let's eat well, feel well, think well, do well, be well. This is your man, Coach D. I'm signing out, but before I do, I gotta ask you to please like, subscribe, and share the video, especially if you love raspberries. And don't forget to use our 3-word mantra. It's #EatMorePlants. As stated earlier, my name is Coach D. I'm signing out. Take care, God bless, and never ever forget that Coach D loves you.